Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we will see what if Tsunade yells at Naruto. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. Naruto. Tsunade screamed from the top of the cliff where Tsunade watched Naruto attack leaf shinobis with anger. I'll make you all pay for all the pain you caused me. Naruto roared out. Naruto was out of control, couldn't see or hear past the anger that was bundled inside. Feeling dark power flow through him and so much anger in his heart he couldn't tell the difference from evil and good. Tsunade ran as fast as her legs can take her. She had to do something but didn't know what to do. Naruto lost all this memories but the ones the Leaf Village had caused him pain. Pathetic villagers attacked and tried to kill him. He had every right to be angry but this wasn't like Naruto. Naruto. Stop this isn't you. Tsunade was now standing only a few feet away. Naruto changed so much from when she first met him to now. He was shorter than all shinobis from his generation and now he is the tallest of them only by a few inches. More fit and built than he was before. His maturity has grown and his intelligence also grown from someone who didn't understand anything. Heart full of light, no darkness of any kind. But now here he is standing only a few feet away with anger darkness in his eyes. Willing and with no care in the world who he kills, as they get in his way. His hair more bushier with two larger spikes on top looking like fox ears. His like scar whiskers more thicker and his blue eyes more darker. His clothes no longer orange and black now black with red clouds, the Akatsuki's robe. Black shinobi's pants and the robe that is unzipped to mid-chest and open from waist down. Rasengan tilde? Naruto brought his hand down, hitting right in Neji's chest, ripping a hole through his chest. You all will pay. Naruto hair starts to grow, 6 of his spikes grow past to the chest. He unzipped his shirt to show his chest, revealing his seal that was connected to 2 other seals. One was over his heart and the other was on his right shoulder. His scar-like whiskers darkened and his eyes became bloodshot red. Red chakra forming around him, seeming like it's protecting him from harm but it's really harming his skin. Naruto, calm down. I understand you are mad but no need to kill innocent people. Lady Tsunade walked closer. You don't understand the pain I'm going through. You had people who loved you, I had no one. Everyone would take one look at me and call out, demon. I was attacked, beaten to death, when I didn't do anything. Even the doctors and nurses wouldn't heal me, instead they would try to finish the job. Naruto snapped back in anger. Naruto created another Rasengan and attacked Tsunade. Lucky for Tsunade she was able to move quick enough to jump out of the way. Naruto, you need to stop this isn't you. Tsunade jumped to a nearby branch. Stop this? Why? No one stopped attacking me, no one didn't care, all they care about was revenge. They didn't care if I wasn't the real demon or if I saved all their asses from Kyuubi destroying them. They wanted to take out their anger and sadness on someone who was the closest thing to that point in history. Naruto's hand started to give out screech noises and spare wind motion with 4 large points. Picking up chakra, creating Rasen Shuriken. I wish those moments never happened. Was the last thing Naruto screamed out before everything went black. You wished it shall be, a creepy voice spoke, echoing in the darkness. Naruto, pain ripped throughout his body making his eyes pop open. Aha aha, a scream ripped from his throat. Taking control of the pain, he looked around. Where am I? Confused at trees and open blue skies. Kit, finally you're awakened, thank the demon gods. Kyuubi yelled in excitement in Naruto's head. Kyuubi, what happened? Naruto trying to get up but pain ripped through him. You were killed, Kyuubi explained. I don't understand. Why does my whole body hurts like I came from hell then? Naruto asked. Kyuubi laughed making it echo in the seal's prison. That's because you were brought back to life but that'll be explained once you're healed. Naruto eyes wide open and closed tight, the pain hit him like lightning. Naruto had to hurry or else, he couldn't take the pain any longer. So he got up but fall right back down. The pain was over the top. It felt like he rather die than go through this pain but try to get up again and quickly lean on a tree. Walking to tree to keep standing. Leaving blood tracks everywhere he walked. Feeling blood soaking his clothes he finally found a team and lucky for him it was shinobis from the Leaf Village. Hey! Naruto tried to yell out but was brought to his knees from so much pain, feeling like they were cut off. Blood was dripping out of him faster than Kyuubi could heal him. Gripping his knee to try to fight the pain, a groan pressed his lips. Hearing a faint groan, a blonde woman's neck snapped across the river, to find a teen bleeding to death. Turning to her teammates, "Hey guys, look across the river." The two male shinobis looked over and shrugged. "Hey, who are you?" Blonde woman walking over to her side of the river's edge. Naruto wanted to say something but fall face forward into the river. The blonde girl eyes widened and watched the blue-eyed blonde boy fall in the water, being dragged by the waterfall and disappear. Turning to her teammates, "Come on, don't stand there." The blonde woman jumped down the river, finding the boy filling the water with blood. Putting one foot in and taking a step in the river. "Stay with me." The blonde poured green chakra into Naruto's chest. Opening his eyes to see an angel trying to save him. "What is your name?" the blonde woman asked, keeping his mind of the pain. "The name is Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto coughed out blood. "Take it easy, Naruto." "The name is Tsunade." Naruto's eyes shot open. "Did she say Tsunade? I'm quite sure my ears misheard." Kyuubi's voice came out in a faint. He couldn't believe it. Here he was slowly dying, and here was Lady Tsunade, Ba-chan, trying to save his life. "Jera, I need you to carry him. I can't heal him here, so let's head back to the village." Tsunade looked at the boy's face once more before stepping back to help Orochimaru. They'll have to speed up a bit or Naruto won't make it. Now here he is being rushed to Konoha's hospital on a hospital gurney. The funniest thing is Kyuubi can't do anything to help, so he's fucked if the younger version Tsunade can't heal him in time. But then he didn't even care, not even his will to live to become Hokage isn't stopping the thoughts why it would be a good thing to die. "You better care, Rikudo. The Red Moon Demon didn't brought you back to life for nothing," Kyuubi spoken in a growl. Sure, Naruto was given an opportunity to start over, but the question why someone would grant him that opportunity. Does it really matter? Now you can train with the power you were given and be the best shinobi that was born. Kyuubi sneak in a thought. What power? Naruto thpu'd, but before Kyuubi could explain, Naruto screamed in pain. Tsunade forced more chakra into Naruto's body. For some strange reason his body wouldn't take her chakra, but once she was able to speed up his cells to heal him, he screamed in pain. "Naruto, I need you to fight the pain or you'll die." Tsunade had to ask medical nins to hold him down. "Tsunade, right? I want to say thank you for trying," Naruto spoke in between breaths and let the darkness take over him. Tsunade's eyes widened, at how a boy that fought to live but isn't afraid to die. "Naruto? Naruto? Naruto?" Tsunade forced more chakra into Naruto's wounds. She won't let him die for some reason she couldn't give up when medical nins behind her were telling her that they lost him. "Shame, shame, you won't fight to live once again. So bring you back to life was a waste of my time." "Good to know," a voice came from a distance. Slowly getting up, rubbing his head and looked around to find a shadow hovering over him. "I didn't ask for you to bring me back to life. A better question is how the hell did I die in the first place?" Naruto growled back. At first Naruto thought he got the shadow off guard, but the shadow proved that he had an answer. "You wished that the moments of pain you went through never happened. At that moment you got control over your body and killed yourself. Don't you remember what happened?" the shadow asked. To Naruto it seemed the shadow was staring at him, but he couldn't tell. "Well, no, I don't remember anything at all, and the harder I think the more it hurts," Naruto answered. The shadow nodded his head in understanding. "Well, that's because you were killed. Kyuubi was sucked out of you, but being in Uzumaki, you lived through the extraction. You were brought to life to have Kyuubi and the overtailed demons into you. Madara plans didn't work due to I made sure only a true of sage of the sixth path was the only person to unleash the 10-tailed demon. So that's when he realized you had the sage of the six paths DNA and use you as a tool," the shadow explained. Naruto looked over to Kyuubi, who looked like was in deep thoughts. "But how does that have to do with me in the past?" Naruto asked in confusion, looking at the shadow in wonder. The shadow sighed. "You see, Naruto, I'm the Rikudo and you're the recordation of me. See, even with anger and hunger for blood you somehow were able to snap back to yourself just to kill yourself, but before you died you wished something and right there you convinced me to give you a better life, so I begged the demon of death to bring you back. But your body was so damaged that I had to recreate you, so I gave you my body." Rikudo explained farther than he wanted to, but at least he doesn't have to tell Naruto later. Naruto was having a hard time connecting the pieces together. Nothing was making no sense. So you're telling me that I'm not me but you? Naruto needs answers because he was confused, nothing made sense. Rikudo sighing again, gosh this kid is slow, Naruto. The most simple way to explain this is, you were reborn, you're still your goof, stupid self but with perks. Like for example, you contain the blood limit DNA Keki Genkai Rinnegan and the Sharingan. Why don't I have any of my memories? Naruto asked, why can't he remember any of this? Why does it seem that the more Rikudo explains the farther he goes in the dark hole? Rikudo looked over to Kyuubi for some kind of help. Clear his throat, Kit, you see your mind is under 3 seals, which has probably 50 seals each to make sure no one will be able to release what we now will call 18 Naruto. Don't worry, we will start to slowly release them during your training, Kyuubi stepped in. Naruto nodding in agreement, alright I guess that's fair. I won't be in killing mode, would I? That's the only thing Naruto is worried about. He doesn't want to attack the village again. He loved his village, even after what he went through as a child. Rikudo laughed at Naruto's question. The only way you'll attack this village in anger and hatred if you somehow lose control of your anger, but it has to be something big, and I mean big. Something like, I don't know, but don't worry, I have a plan. If that does happen anytime soon or the near future, I will stop you before any damage is done. Rikudo pointed his staff to Naruto's head, before I let you go, I'm going to show you something. Fight back, you baka! A raven head shouted out, punching the figure underneath him. Right Fitz, switching to his left Fitz, kept punching the figure on the face. Eyes widened when his fit was caught by the figure underneath him. I've already won, why fight back? Sasuke-kun, a Whiskers teen stated. Pushing the raven head off of him, got up. Red chakra covering the injuries his body gained, healing the wounds. Whisker marks darken on the blonde teen's face. His eyes blood-shot slit red eyes. Standing tall over the raven head, Sasuke, I'm sorry but you give me no choice. A shadow clone puffed beside and moved his hands in a circular motion. In sphered chakra shape started to form in his palm. Spinning in his hand slammed down into Sasuke's chest. Bleed gushing out of the raven teen, eyes never closing, staying wide open. His chest never lifting up and down to declare he was breathing. Closing his eyes, the blonde teen wiped the tears from falling. I'll die first before you destroy this village. A blonde teen thrown in shuriken-like, blue chakra sphere with 4 shadow-ish blue points. Shaped like a giant shuriken, tilde wind release. Rasenshuriken tilde. He shout out. Spinning through the air, the man with orange mask was able to dodge with ease. But what he didn't see or expect it to explode before his eyes. The eyes behind the mask widen at the surprise. Quickly throwing the special kunai in his hand, behind him, disappearing in a yellow flash. Dodged the jutsu explosion from hitting him. Breathing heavily, looking around to see if he could find his opponent through the thick dust. Eyes landing to his left, flipped backwards, getting hold of the branch underneath of him. Dodging kunais and swing off to land on the branch ahead. Turning around to block the sword that was aiming his heart with his kunai. Eyeing each other, waiting to see who'll do the next move. Smirking his foxy grin. I might be just a boy but don't underestimate me. Naruto's eyes became slit blood red. His whiskers darkening and his canine teeth sharpen. Releasing the red poison chakra that a single touch will lead to your pain. Pulling back his free hand, punched the orange masked man. Seeing the attack beforehand, was about to go dodge but was tied down by a red chakra tail. Getting full contact from the brutal chakra. Flying down the tree, Naruto went after him. Faster than a blink of an eye, Naruto was on the ground. Watching Madara pounce off the floor and land on his feet. Motion his hands through hand seals, tilde fire release, great fireball tilde. Breathing in air through his nose, just to breath out a powerful fire out of his mouth. A giant fireball was created and went towards the blonde teen. Bending farther down on his knees and arms, waiting for the attack to come closer. Releasing the gathered chakra on his 4 legs, jumping over the fire jutsu. Kicked off the tree, slammed his fists into the ground, releasing enormous chakra wave. Destroying the area around them. Madara jumped over Naruto's head and pointed his sword down. Going down, inches away from Naruto's end. Naruto and the red chakra split from each other. Skimming across the ground, quickly got pressure on his feet, ran towards Madara. The red chakra was still formed like in fox. flipped on all fours, ran towards Madara. Picking up its tails, and red blood chakra sphere ball started to form. Naruto summoned shadow clones, started to form an blue sphere chakra ball in his palm. 4 bluish faint spikes swirl around the sphere ball. Madara's eyes widened when he saw Naruto and Kyuubi's chakra separate from each other. What was more shocking was Kyuubi's chakra was acting on its own. Like the Kyuubi soul was in the chakra's coat. Trying to free himself, he realized when Naruto slammed his fists in the ground. Naruto was able to place a binding seal on the ground. There was no time to replace himself with a substitution jutsu. Closing his eyes to wait for the death that'll finally come. Jumping over Madara's head, slam his tails down. Naruto thrust his arm ahead of himself. Exploding at impact, destroying the forest completely into ashes, never to regrow. Skin peeling off their skulls and bones, tissues being destroyed from repair and bones shattering to pieces. Life will never come back. Chained to the wall, spikes piercing through his flesh. Blood dropping off his body, forming a puddle. Opening his eyes slowly, everything was spinning. Feeling so cold when he used to be warm. Looking around, squirting his eyes to try take the dizziness out of his vision. Being in pain and not knowing where he was, started to freak out. Pulling on the chains and figure came out of the shadow. So you're finally awakened, Naruto Uzumaki. Narrowing his eyes at the voice. I thought I killed you? Naruto spoke with venom in his mouth. Pulling on the chains some more but just cause himself more pain. Chains ripping farther into his skin. Oh, I was dead, but you see, so were you, Madara showed himself. Pointing over at Kabuto. Lucky for us, Kabuto was able to resurrect us with his jutsu. Why resurrect me? Your Kekkei Genkai doesn't work due to I physically destroy them and second I sealed them, Naruto pointed out. Your Red Moon Eye plan doesn't work no longer without your Sharingan, laughing at his accomplices. Grabbing Naruto's jacket, pulled him closer to his face. You're smarter than you look because of that stupid move you pulled, I'm going to have to use you instead. You see, Naruto, when you sealed the Kekkei Genkai I stole, you placed it within you. So all I have to do is fuse them with you, and by doing that I'm going to corrupt your mind. Smiling at Naruto's reaction, place the seal on Naruto and watch him become the monster he was meant to be. The sound of the heart machine filled the room. The same rhythm every time she came inside this and then waited. Waiting for some kind of difference or change. That was the sad part of being in a coma. Watching his chest lift up and down for every breath that he breathed in and out. Eyes traveling over his eyes, wondering how the hell he survived. His entire body was so bad beaten that it looked like he was in an explosion. Tissue bone was so damaged from repair. He had so many broken limbs and they weren't easy to heal. They were shattered to pieces, and when she said shattered to pieces she mean he was lucky that he had a skeleton. His body was covered with cuts, rips and gushes of holes through his body. So much blood, so red. She was surprised that he didn't die from blood lost earlier. They had to IV him. If they waited for him to produce more for himself, but he barely had any left. What makes her wonder more is how the hell was he able to walk? The pain should have killed him. He puts a new meaning to Wall of Fire. There is no way did he heal so fast that there is no trace of any kind of injuries. The only things is the 3 cuts on each cheek. Tilting her head to the side. The 3 cuts kinda looks like whiskers. How they happen to be on each cheek. Same size and positioned the same. How was he able to get even cuts is beyond her. Lifting her hand, she brushed his hair back go get a better view of his face. His face at rest, with no trace of pain. Softly smirking to herself. She was so glad she didn't give up when he did. Thinking back what had happened. Flashback __. Tsunade, right? He spoken up between grasps. Probably making sure he said the right name. I want to thank you. His eyes went back to his head and his body loosened underneath of him. Her eyes widened and quickly got her cool and started to pour more chakra. Naruto? 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 She yelled, hoping he was lying or joking. Looking like a type that would. Not stopping for a second, she continued to pout healing chakra into his body. Tsunade, he is gone, the medical staff kept repeating. Trying to get her quit. Tell her that he is dead, but something told her that he still have life. She just had to keep finding it. For some strange reason something clicked inside of her. For some reason she didn't like how he given up so easy, after working so hard to find help. Especially in his condition. He shouldn't been able to move a step. Gripping her teeth together tighter, almost dislocating her jaw. Tears threatened to fall down her face. She doesn't understand why she didn't quit, when she knew he was long dead by now. Something told her to keep going. Don't give up, he can surprise us all. After 10 minutes of pouring chakra into his lifeless body and no change. Finally giving up on him, she stopped the flow of her chakra. Taking one last look at the mystery boy. Brushing her hand through his hair, feeling a strange tingling feeling but ignored it. Taking a step to leave, her eyes widen. Looking back to find the blonde boy holding her hand in place on hid face. His eyes still close, looking like he liked the feeling of her hand there. Not taking her eyes off of him, his eyes finally opened a second time that day. Motioned his free hand for her to come closer. Loosen her body, she turned back around. His free hand reached up slowly. Thinking he is just another pervert and about to beat him to death herself. But he surprised her once again that day. He reached for the necklace that was hanging between her chest. His eyes closed once more to find the strength to speak up. Thank you for not giving up on me, once again. His eyes went to the back of his head being pulled into a coma. His hands dropped to his side. Frozen in place with her mouth opened. Wondering what the heck did he meant, once again. Shaking her head out of her thoughts. The only way to know is after he wakes up. I didn't think the granddaughter of the first Hokage, who breaks every heart of every man that comes her way. Except Dan, of course. Visiting a boy who she doesn't know. I wonder, a voice came from the doorway. Looking up to find her teammate Jiraiya. Wearing his usual clothes, pale gray robes with a design of red flames on the edges, with a green ribbon showing a curled gold design tied in a loose bow around his waist. Underneath it, he wore the standard black mesh shirt with red lining, and wore black pants as well as black sandals to go with the outfit. Standing at 6 feet 2. What are you doing here? Tsunade rudely asked. The smirk on his face never left, leaning forward and pointing at her. The same thing can be asked of you. Why are you here? None of your business, she snapped back, crossing her arms over her chest. Laughing at her, closed the door behind him. Walking up to the hospital bed that the boy lay down on. Watching him with pity in his eyes. Poor brat. Wonder what happened. Jiraiya spoken up after a few minutes of silence. If I knew. You think I'll be sitting in waiting for the answer if I knew. Tsunade got up, sighing. I've been here long enough, I'm going home. Stretching her achy bones, she looked at the boy once again. Brushing his hair out of his face. Jiraiya watched her closely and surprised. She never shown this gentle side to nobody but Dan. But this gentleness was different. This one made her look more alive. This Naruto has barely said any words. Information that didn't help them and been in a coma for 2 weeks. Is able to show a more gentle side of Tsunade. Smiling to himself, he is going to like this brat. Crossing off Dan off his competition for Tsunade's love, it's Naruto who will be his greatest challenge. Any person who went through the body damage that Naruto went through and lived. To tell the tale. Or at least not yet, but something tells him he'll wake up soon. Snapping straight up, pain ripped through his entire body. Clenching his stomach and gripping his nails into his flesh. Gripping his teeth, looked around the room. 4 white walls with a window on his right and a door on his left. Not knowing where the heck he has decided to leave. Pulling off his body, slide his legs to the side. Placing on foot on the cold floor, lifting himself off the bed. Taking a step towards the door, but his legs snapped from underneath him. That is a bad idea, a voice echoed through his mind. Looking everywhere, Naruto found nobody. Shrugging, got up again, leaning on the door. Listening to hear if anyone was there. Slowly turning the knob, he took the step out. Making up his mind which way he wants to go. Walking against the wall, so he wouldn't fall. Fighting the pain that ached in his body. He doesn't know where he was, but he knew he doesn't want to stay in this building. While this was happening standing in front a man that was wearing a white robe with a red and white hat that says, fire, on top. Report, the older man demanded. He hasn't woken up yet, until then there is much we can report, Tsunade pointed out. Looking up at his student, Tsunade, if he doesn't wake up soon we need to cut off his life support. Sarutobi simply put it. Tsunade's face became shocked, with her mouth slightly open. The poor kid came to us like he fought his way through hell. How you expect the kid to heal so fast? Tsunade was about to lose her cold. Over for a kid she barely knows. We were at war and it's not a great time. He could be a trap or a spy. Until he wakes up we won't know until we question him. But if doesn't wake up he is no use for us, Sarutobi explained his judgment. When you are Hokage, you'll understand. Motioned his hand to dismiss his student. Putting the hoodie over his head so nobody sees him. Naruto struggled down the busy street of Konoha. Things seemed so different from the last time he seen this village. So alive and acting like nothing was going on. At the same time he doesn't know what the heck was going on. He can't remember anything. He remembers sounds and some images but that's all. Trying to remember his way around, trying to leave this forsaken place. He doesn't know why but for some reason he can't the sight of it. At the same time he feels like he is at home. Bumping into someone, turned to apologize when he saw the guy pushed a woman down and steal her purse. Help! The strange woman screamed, when the man ran. Snapping out of his thoughts went after him. Not sure why he was running but he was. The man realized he was going after him jumped to the roofs. Naruto continued to run on the street, jumping over things that got in his way. Tsunade walked inside the hospital watching medics running around, healing people and checking them if everything is okay. Reaching Naruto's door she opened the door. She froze in place when she found him missing. Turning around and ran for the door. He couldn't go too far. He just wake up from a coma. Reaching outside she jumped to the roofs, hoping to find him before he escapes. Naruto kept on chasing him, right on his heels. Breathing heavily from the lack of oxygen. His lungs burned every breath and step he took. Not giving up, not sure why but if he had to he'll fight this stranger. Getting fed up, the stranger stopped and jumped in front of the blonde boy. Hey kid, what's the big deal? Want to play hero? Then come at me. Sneered at the word, hero, and kid. He isn't a kid. Or at least he thinks so. And heroes is a fool's play. Don't underestimate me. I might look weak and I might not remember anything but doesn't mean I won't be able to kick your ass. Naruto stand there emotionless. Naruto smirked. The stranger took the first move, poofing in front the young boy. Bring his hand back, released a punch to the face. Naruto's eyes widened at the speed the stranger came at him. Saw his hand lift up and stretched to his face. Almost taking him out of balance, but was able to catch himself. Eyes looking down the floor, a few drops of blood was spread on the cold grass. Moving his eyes at the stranger smirked was wiped off his face. Red eyes with 3 black tomo around the central pupil. The stranger froze in place. Uchiha, he whispered. Something in Naruto snapped at the word, Uchiha. His hand moved faster than a blink. Gripped his hand around the man's throat. Narrowing his eyes, what did you say? Feeling pressure, squeezing, cutting air circulation flowing through his lungs. I said Uchiha. He choked to get the words past his lips. Afraid what this kid is capable. Sneered at the man's words, he didn't know why. He just knows that the word, Uchiha, makes him angry beyond belief. Gripping tighter. How dare you use that word in my presence? The stranger was scared shitless. This kid 1 minute was just confused about life like a newborn baby. Now he released this dark aura that he thinks this kid will kill him in cold blood and laugh afterwards. Here I'm sorry, take the purse back. Just don't hurt me, I didn't mean trouble, it's hard times and I need the money. He rumbled but Naruto didn't care to listen. Pulling him closer to his face, the stranger closed his eyes in terror. You call a protector of this village when you steal from the people you steal. I'll let you go but if you mess up even once and I hear about. And trust me I will hear about. I'll kill without losing sleep. Don't believe I dare you to pull another stupid stunt and I'll show you what I'm capable of. Pulling his hand forward and pushing it forward, release the man. Sending him backwards, falling a few feet away. Walking towards the purse that was laying on the floor. Picking it up, watched the stranger get up and ran for his life. Feeling someone was staring at him. He turned his head to the side to find a blonde woman staring at him. His eyes did a quick head to toe. She was wearing a grass-green robe, underneath she wears a gray, kimono-style blouse with no sleeves, held closed by a broad, dark bluish-gray obi that matches her pants. Her blouse is closed quite low, revealing her sizable cleavage, not like he was staring. She wears open-toed sandals with high heels and polish on both her fingernails and toenails. She also wears a soft pink lipstick. She was also wearing some kind of necklace in clear view on her chest. Looked kinda familiar but he doesn't know where. Looking back to her eyes, something clicked when their eyes met each other. All his anger went out the door. Her fair skin and brown eyes shined in the sunlight. Her blonde hair which are parted in the middle and fall down the sides of her face. It was long, blonde hair is tied into two ponytails. Tsunade finally found the blonde boy. It wasn't hard when a woman said that some boy in a hospital outfit with a hoodie over his head went after the person that stole her purse. She watched from a distance to find more about him. He took a punch to a face. Surprised at the speed the other man came jumping to the floor, the guy ran for his life. Looking back at Naruto, she swears she saw his eyes red, but when he turned his head to her, his eyes were crystal blue. She was about to ask him why he was out of bed, but Naruto gripped his head in pain. Naruto was about to ask her why she was here and who she was when pain ripped through his head. Gripping his head, he fell down to his knees. "Naruto?" he heard in a distance, sounded like an angel. "Naruto, what's wrong?" Her voice camping in a faint, but he still heard it and calmed the pain away, but the moment she stops talking the pain came back. Naruto was on his knee, his head in his hands, clenching for dear life. Almost running over to him she fell to her knees, placing her hands on his arms. "Naruto, if you can tell me where the pain is I can make it go away," she stated again. Naruto was having a hard time listening to her over the other voices that spoken in his head. "Please make the voices stop. They won't shut up," feeling tears falling down his eyes. Voices? Did the coma mess up with his head? Places her hands on his cheeks, carefully rubbing circles on his face with her thumb. Seeing it calmed him down a bit, but there is still pain. "Naruto, listen to my voice and follow it. Concentrate to my voice. Please Naruto, don't give up. I believe in you." Tsunade leaned her head on his head, praying and begging for him to fight. Naruto could feel his grip on his sanity loosening, but when he felt her warm hands care his face, the grip tightened. The darkness didn't like that, so the pain ripped through him more, but she spoke gently with worry in her voice. Not liking that her voice was trembling, fighting harder against the pull in his head. Thinking he was about to lose the fight, she leaned her forehead on his. Eyes snapped open to find her eyes closed with a tear falling. His grip loosened on his head, falling to his side. Breathing heavily, taking control of the pain that was throughout his body. Tsunade's eyes opened when she felt Naruto's arms fall. Staring into his blue ocean eyes, she feels something strange. Not understanding why she was scared for a kid she didn't even knew. Liking the heat that he was giving out, they stayed like that for a few more minutes. Realizing and snapping the eye connection off, she got up. Helping Naruto up, who didn't like that she stopped the connection. "We need to get you back to the hospital so I can heal you better." "You think you can walk back?" Naruto didn't want to go back. Something told him he didn't like the hospital, but he didn't want to far away from her. Nodding his head, she started to walk, showing the way. He took a step to follow her. The world went in circles. Trying to ignore and look past the blurriness, he took another step. His eyes went to the back of his head and fell forward. Darkness taking over his mind once again. Nodding his head as a reply, she started to head for the Konoha hospital. She heard a thump. She looks back to find Naruto fell forwards and unconscious. Worry kicks in and she runs back to be at his side. Eyes snapped open, feels like he'd been ran over by an elephant. About to sit straight up but was stopped. Looking over to his right to find the blonde woman holding his arm down. "Please Naruto, just take it easy and rest." Tsunade looked into his eyes hoping he'll listen to her. After what happened earlier today, she didn't want him fainting again. Just because he healed from all his injuries physically, but mentally is different. Nodding his head, he rested back to the pillow. He couldn't say no to her. Her brown caramel eyes that shine in the sun. Only those eyes he would destroy the world to get to. "I was wonder what's your name?" Naruto has finally asked the number one question in his mind. He had many of them, but he needs to know. Tsunade looked at him weird, eyebrows forward in question. "What do you mean?" Not understanding what he said wrong, he was sure he spoken clearly. "Well, you seem to know my name, but I don't know yours. Don't you think it would make more sense if I knew your name as well?" Tsunade just stared at him dumbly. "Naruto, I told you my name the day we met." Naruto tried to think back, but just to have the pain come back in his head. "I'm sorry. I can't remember anything past this morning. I'm Tsunade Senji. But I hate being referred to my grandfather, so Tsunade would be fine." Her eyes closed when she flashed a smile. A small face showed on his face at the beauty in front of him. Tsunade. Tsunade-chan. Tsunade-kun. Naruto repeated, letting her name roll off his tongue. The name sounded very familiar, but he's not sure where he heard it. How long do we know each other? Naruto asked. He needs information, he can't remember anything, unless it just pops in his head. Tsunade's smile fell to a straight face. You came to me very injured 2 weeks ago. We don't know anything about where you came from or how you got hurt. The only thing we know is that your name is Naruto Uzumaki. Trying to think back, but it was a fail. He can't even remember his childhood, if he had one. The only thing that makes any sense to him is anger and the empty feeling inside of him. Don't you know what happened or how you come to be at Konoha's territory? Tsunade asked, hoping that it might jog some memories. Looking up at the ceiling, he shakes his head. Tsunade got up, he got worried. He doesn't want her to leave his side. Realizing Naruto's worry, don't worry, I'm going to report to the Hokage that you woke up. If I don't come back by night, I'll be here in the morning. She opened the door and closed in behind her. Naruto couldn't help but lay here, staring at 4 white walls. There is more blood stains here, Rikudo, a redhead pointed out in monotone. And more older man turned around to look at what the other person was pointing out. We are getting closer, Gaara, I can feel it, Rikudo commented. Taking his staff out of the ground, continue to walk towards the Leaf Village. Keep your eyes and ears open, Naruto can be anywhere. So he finally awakened. The third Hokage stated. Yes, and he can't remember anything. The harder he thinks the more it hurts his head, Tsunade explained. Not telling her sensei what happened earlier. Nodding his head, he thought to himself what would be the best way to go at it. I'll send a message to the clan and have him dig in Naruto's mind. Find us some answers, it could be a trap, so it'll be done in the Anbu underground investigation room. Tsunade nodded her head in understanding. He dismissed her and continued to watch over the village. Cracking his eyes open just to find himself in a dark room chained to a chair. Fighting against the metal, he cuts deeper into his skin. Looking everywhere for a way out, but there isn't a freaking door. Who doesn't put a door in a 4x4 room? Unless it's hidden from sight. Feeling his chakra being drained from his body, he couldn't fight to keep his eyes open. His breathing is getting thicker and heavily. Closing his eyes to concentrate on sound, but nothing. His body is getting weaker by the second. Click. His head snaps up. A man comes in with a mask with 4 others, who went to the corners. He can feel them staring at him, like he was a monster. So you must be Naruto. I'm sorry it took a while. We were wondering how the best way to go through your mind. You either let us go through or we can force our way in. There is nothing you can hide from the Yamanaka clan. The man took off his mask to show he had short blonde hair. Naruto looked up at the man that stands before him. Smirking, neither, because there is nothing up there. It's hidden even from me and there are reasons. Gripping on Naruto's head, Tight yelled, tilde mind reading tilde. Underscore Naruto's mind underscore. Opening his eyes to find himself in front a cage. Feeling his feet wet, he looks down to find water. Turning around to get a better look at where he's at. A sailor? A sewer? A boiler room? Inside a person's mind? Now this is new experience for him. Usually he's in front of the person's brain. Not for this kid. Looking back at the cage, takes a step forward. A gush of red chakra that was so evil that makes any dark monster run in terror. Decided to head for the back door at the other side of the room. Hearing drops of water and creaking everywhere. This place gives him the creeps. He's been walking what felt like hours. Nothing but empty rooms. Reaching the end of a maze, hoping this door will lead to the kid's brain. Opening the door carefully, he finds a room of a giant seal. The seal looked like a tilde 8 trigram sealed tilde with 2 overlapping. Who is this kid? He asked himself, walking closer. 3 statues were standing in the middle in some kind of pose. One statue that was on the right was a shinobi with a fan that looked like the Uchiha's symbol. The one on the left, it was holding a shield, with circles bigger than the last one. Kinda looks like the Rinnegan. The third statue was in the center, between the two. It was holding a staff of some kind above its head. Each hold a steel, heaven's eyes, and the other the samsara's eyes. The middle one was a strange seal. Release 18, what the heck did that mean? Heaven eyes seems safer, the member of the Yamanaka. Peeling off the corner, he heard a roar, that's what it sounded like. Pausing and carefully listened, Not hearing anything continued to peel of the seal. Halfway off he felt something on his throat, his world went black. Outside of Naruto's mind __. The Yamanaka member eyes snapped open. The blonde boy slammed him to a wall. Feeling sharp nails sink into his skin. How dare you touch the seals, Naruto angry snapped. Tightening his grip, the Yamanaka member grabbed hold of his hand hoping to release the grip. I warn you, but do you listen? No. Naruto can feel his control of his anger and hatred, but he didn't care. Everything he knew and loved was gone, and because of him. Naruto put the shinobi down. Now. A deep voice came from behind him. Turning his head to find an older man with shoulder-length black hair that had two horns, spikes. Purplish eyes that glowed in the dark. A long robe that was unzipped to midway of his chest. Black shinobi pants and a staff of some kind, hard to tell in the dark. Who are you? Naruto demanded. Anger building up inside of him, he had taste of blood in his mouth. Naruto, it's me Rikudo, your grandfather. The older man hoped it will jog some kind of memory. Instead he was given a confused look. Sorry, I don't know you, but I do know I want to kill this man. Before Naruto was able to snap the man's neck, the older man wrapped his staff around his neck. Coaxing him, making him release his grip. Power of the demons, he whispered in the blonde boy's ear. Naruto's eyes widened just to roll the back of his head, body went limp. Calming him down for now, Rikudo thought. Tsunade, Jiraiya and Orochimaru ran inside the cell to find the four Anbu knocked out and the Yamanaka members shaking in fear. Naruto on the floor and two other figures standing over him. Tsunade steps in. Who the hell are you guys? Cracking her knocks, getting ready to fight the two new mystery people. I'm sorry, where are my manners? My name is Rikudo Uzumaki, I'm Naruto's grandfather. This guy next to me is Gaara of the desert or sand, whatever floats your boat. He is Naruto's best friend. We are the last survivors of our village. We've been looking for Naruto for 2 weeks now and felt chakra disturbance. Right away I knew it was Naruto because only he has that chakra, so evil that he makes bugs' skin crawl. Rikudo explained their story. Tsunade looked over at Naruto's limb body. Let's take him to the hospital and get checked. This way you can explain this to the third Hokage. Rikudo and Gaara agreed. Rikudo picked up Naruto's hoodie he was wearing and dragged him out. Tsunade looked back worried about the others. Don't worry, they are fine. Naruto just shoved them to the walls. They will be fine. Sarutobi just sat there stunned at the new guests. Clearing his throat. So you're Naruto's grandfather. What happened to his parents? Placing his hand on his chin, getting comfy for a story of his life. Rikudo looked over the redhead next to him, just to get a shrug. Well, I'm going to tell you a story that'll answer all your questions, but only to you. Sooner or later everyone will find out, but right now I just want only you to hear. Sarutobi understanding motioned his students to leave and lock the door behind him. Nodded his head for them to start speaking. Rikudo nodded. Alright, so my daughter and her husband, Naruto's parents, sacrificed themselves to save our village and the future of the ninja world. Naruto is very special. He has chakra is so special that people who are power hungry goes after him. He has 3 Kekkei Genkai. The knowledge of Fuinjutsu, the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. The knowledge of Fuinjutsu is his bloodline. The other 2 was given to him. A member of Uchiha clan give Naruto before his dying breath a gift, and it happens to be the DNA. Also one of our Mimiber, Nagato, did the same before his dying breath. Both saying Naruto is the chosen one to end this war. Rikudo looked over at Gaara, the redhead near him, carrying his gourd. Looking back at the third Hokage, Naruto is a splendid shinobi, it's just that his dark side was able to control him. He killed many and destroyed our village, but I promise I won't happen again because it was Naruto himself, stupid himself, and killed himself. Or at least we thought, but the bad man is dead for sure, for now. Sarutobi took a big breath and nodded his head. The new information is a little hard to grasp, but it made perfect sense. So where will you be staying? The question caught Rikudo off guard. Well, we don't know. Shrugging, he looked down at the redhead, who happened to have a smirk, which is rare for him. Do you need 3 great shinobis? Gaara has finally spoken. We are great fighters. I can control the sand in my gourd. Rikudo is a great defenses and Naruto he is a great shinobi. If you let us retrain him, he would be the prefect warrior, Gaara pointed out. Sarutobi took a few minutes to think the idea over. Leaning forward, how long will it take to train Naruto? Rikudo and Gaara looked at each other and looked back at Sarutobi. Give us the day of his birthday, which is in 5 months. Nodding his head, alright, that's a deal. Welcome to Konoha. I'll get the important papers done and so there isn't many questions. I'll give you guys an apartment together and your uniforms if you wish to wear it but must wear the headband. Agreeing to the terms and signing papers, they leave to wake up Naruto and start his basic training. Finally being released from the dreadful place they call the hospital. 4 walls that seem to close in on you, every second you stay there. A window that supposedly let in sunshine and fresh air inside but seemed to suffocate you and make the room darker. Walking down the streets once again, Naruto was so familiar but at the same time a stranger. Listening to the faint steps from the 2 new people of his life. Rikudo and Gaara, his grandfather and his best friend. Don't tell anyone, but he doesn't remember them at all. Rikudo's voice sounds familiar but Gaara doesn't pop up. Doesn't matter, sooner or later he will remember. To remember is the key to everything. Once he can remember, he'll understand what's going on. Reasons why he is cold to everyone he speaks and angry all the same time. Rikudo told him something about the seal that was placed on him or something. Spacing out to remember was explained to him. Flash pass __. Tsunade rubbing his hand to keep him calm, he was guessing. Liking the warm feeling that shoot through him. Not wanting the sparks he felt stop, but once the door opened, she quickly snatched her hands away. About to snap at the person who would stop the contact, just to find the 2 men walking in. The redhead with an serious face and the older man that looks young at the same time. Guess what, Naruto? We are now shinobis here in Konoha village. Once you're released we will start your training, the older man spoke in excitement, arms spread out. Elbowing the redhead, forcing a smile on the teen's face. I am sorry, but who are you again? Naruto asked. Oh, I thought you would at least remember your own grandfather. Rikudo Uzumaki, your mother's father. This is Gaara of the Sand Desert, your best friend, the older man answered, standing straighter to show himself off. Shaking his head to the question, making the old man sigh. That sucks. It's understandable, due to the seals were made you forget all your memories, Rikudo pointed out. Shrugging like it's old news and isn't a surprise. Looking at the old man weirdly, seal? Naruto repeated. What seal? He doesn't remember a seal. Well, it's 2. One sealed your memories and the second sealing your chakra. This way the bad group wouldn't be able to control your power or use anything against you. Rikudo started to explain. I think if I at least explain some of the details to what happened to you, you'll understand a little bit more. Having trouble deciding where to start. Making a face, thinking the best way to explain without too much information out. Our village was in war. Due to we are feared for our knowledge of Fuinjutsu. You have chakra almost like your mother's, but yours is more. What's the right word? Mindless. Rikudo snapped his fingers when the word popped in his mind. Your chakra is so amazing, a Uchiha can't read your moves due to your chakra has a mind of its own. So the leader of this organization that attacked us realized what you were. You became a target. Gaara cut in explaining to Naruto. You found out that they were using loved ones. You and Gaara created this seal. A seal that locks on. Looking at Tsunade for the first time. Realizing she was in the room, he froze. Biting his lips. Well, I'll explain that part more when we are alone. Tsunade eyebrows lifted in question. They were hiding something that they didn't want her to know. Sure, war can be embracing, especially how they lost. Not the time to question, just better to get what you can get freely. Breathing in, anyways, you fought this guy after you stopped your friend, taking the guy down. Sadly something happened and the village is destroyed. Those who survived moved to other villages. We're just lucky you're still alive. Placing a hand his shoulder in comfort. End of flash __. Shaking the thoughts out of his head, sooner or later he'll have his memories back. Things will make sense and the darkness that floats underneath him will be gone. Arriving the training ground, he was guessing because Rikudo and Gaara was standing next to stumps in the open land. Getting closer, he saw an evil smile on Rikudo's face that made him question why he was here. Looking between Gaara's emotionless face to Rikudo's creepy smile, he decided that he didn't want to hear. Alright, let's get this over with, sighed. Naruto had a bad feeling that this was going to be a long day. Clapping his hands together, let's start with some basics. Since you don't remember a whole lot, we will do number of chakra control exercises. With your reserves you'll need at least some chakra control. We will do number of different taijutsu styles until we find the one that works for you. After that we need to work on your control over your mind. Sooner or later you need your memories. I would teach you from scratch but there isn't enough time and I promise the Hokage you'll be a warrior by your birthday. Doesn't mean you can't train after that, which you will. Rikudo explained the plan to Naruto, pointing out that it won't be easy from this day on. Hands still together he pointed at Naruto. How you have the Sharingan and the Rinnegan Kekkei Genkai. I'll teach you how to activate them to use them in battle. There is no way in hell I'm using the Sharingan. I don't need that blood limit. It just causes trouble and I don't need internal power or glory, Naruto snapped at Rikudo. There is no way will he use something that made his beat friend thirsty for revenge and power. He might not remember a lot but who can forget the coldness in his eyes. I understand you don't want to use it but like everything else it'll force itself out. Every time you hear the word Uchiha you go into this attack mode and your eyes are shot red, Rikudo argued back. Shaking his head, nope, over my dead body will I use that cursed Kekkei Genkai you call Sharingan. I'll use the Rinnegan and whatever but not that. Naruto's eyes narrowed at his grandfather, showing to him he isn't going to back down. Rikudo seemed like he was about to answer but decided to keep his mouth shut. Naruto doesn't care what he said, he wasn't going to change his mind. He might not be able to remember a lot but he remembers Sasuke's pain and hatred. After Rikudo explained that he was his grandfather and Gaara was his best friend and the only few survivors of their village. He doesn't really care much about that because he knew Rikudo was hiding something from him. Mentally shrugging the thought off, sooner or later he'll find out the truth and will deal with it then. Looking over at Gaara, who was just standing there with his hands crossed and looked to be thinking. His gaze went past the redheads into the trees, feeling eyes staring at every move he made, probably hearing everything that was being said. Choose your words carefully because even trees have ears and don't do anything that you don't want people to know because they also have eyes. Rikudo saw Naruto's eyes picking up the secret spies. At least Naruto can still sense hidden chakra. What about you learn how to expand the Sharingan's abilities? Train your ears and chakra to read others' moves. You wouldn't be using it only its chakra's usage. Making it your own, Gaara had finally spoken. You always did make a jutsu into your own. So why would the Sharingan be any different, Gaara pointed out. Naruto thought this guy was scary when he didn't utter a word but his tone sounded like it was out to kill. Wondering why he is called Gaara of the sand or desert. He doesn't see sand of any kind, only that gourd he carries everywhere with him. That would mean more work but if Naruto is up to it, we can make a whole new Naruto. This way he doesn't have to be the same like before. More powerful in his own way in all ways. Rikudo smirked with an idea that just popped into his head. Alright, forget the plan before, new plan. Chakra control is our key thing in memories. If you can slowly remember and control the emotions that come with it, you can work with your partner inside your head, your inner demon, because that was an amazing duo, Rikudo kept on blabbing. Ignoring Rikudo's big plans for him, he looked right past him. Not caring what the plan was, he had no reason to keep on fighting. No spark, no fire, no will, no nothing. It was like there is a dark hole that is trying to pull him in, making him feel cold except warmth and angry at everyone who he ever met. The longer he just let everything go by him with no care, he's going to be gone, forever. He knows he has to fight back but without that push he can't. Rikudo realized that Naruto hasn't been listening and staring right through him. Waving a hand in front of Naruto to get him to snap back but he just stood there, staring. Seems like he dead once again, not breathing or moving. Sighing he looked over at Gaara who just shrugged. Naruto doesn't have that spark anymore. When I first met him he had fire and determination in his eyes. Now it's just cold and not himself. The redhead looked down to the ground, kicking the dirt. If we are going to train Naruto, we need to find the spark once again. Putting his hand on his chin, started to think. Sighing, alright, we won't start your training until you find the spark to keep you going. Stabbing his finger into Naruto's chest. Feeling pressure poke his chest, he snapped out of his thoughts, huh? Rolling his eyes, brat. We won't start your training until you figure two things on your own. Narrowing his eyes, and that would be? Your inner demon and your will of fire, Rikudo simply put it. Inner demon and will of fire? What's that got to do with my training? Naruto complained. It's got to do everything with your training, Rikudo pointed out. Without your will of fire, you are pointless in a battlefield. So training you will be a waste of time. Inner demon is your hidden power. You can't fight without it, it's all have to do with your memories. Nodding his head, alright, how do I find this will of fire and inner demon? Rikudo started to laugh. Oh god, hope you're not serious about that question. Looked at Naruto to see that he wasn't joking, only you know where to find it. We can't help you with that. Walking in the rain, holding her umbrella in her hand, Tsunade was heading to see her brother. Usually she'll wait until the rain pass, but something told her to go to the graveyard. Walking through the entrance, she head to her brother's grave, replacing the dead flowers with new fresh ones. Tracing the engraving, remembering the memories that she bundled inside of her. At a few minutes she decided to go. Straightening herself, she saw a figure from the corner of her eye. Turning her head to get a better look, she saw the figure was wearing an orange shirt. Walking closer she realized the figure was the blonde kid that walked into her life. Smiling to herself, she hasn't seen him since he left the hospital's care. What she thought she'll never see was Naruto crying and shaking from the cold rain that drenched his clothes to his skin. Naruto, she called out to him when she got only inches away from him. Getting no response, she walked to his side to see what he was staring at. The gravestone for those who couldn't identify because their state their body was in. Looking at Naruto's face to see tears falling down his face. Placing her umbrella over their head, trying to keep Naruto from getting wetter than he already was. Choking on his own tears, I disappointed them, I failed them. They're all dead because I wasn't strong enough. Naruto didn't understand why water was falling from his eyes. An emotion of some kind he didn't understand, but he welcomed it. It lifted a way he didn't know he had, off of him. Who did you disappointed, Naruto? My village. Because of me they're dead. I might not remember a whole lot, but I'm sure we lost because I wasn't strong enough. Naruto started to cry harder. Wrapping her arm around his shoulders, pulling him into a hug. Feeling him stiffen under her arms, but she didn't let go. Naruto, you listen to me. I might not know you a lot, but I have good judgment. And what I have seen, you're a strong shinobi. Shit, you survived in condition that would lead any shinobi to their downfall. Don't blame yourself for an entire village existence on you. You probably did the best you could, and that's all that matters. Tightening her arms around his neck, bring him closer to her. Feeling him unstiffen and place his arms around her waist and leaning his head on hers. She was right, he probably did his best, but something told him there is more. Pushing that thought to the side, loving the warmth that she gives off. The darkness that is always underneath him isn't liking the light that she places over them. Ignoring the evil voices and concreted on her. Loosing her arms around his neck, trying to pull away, but Naruto kept her there. Their nose almost touching, eyes meeting once again, but she noticed something she didn't notice before. The pain in his eyes worried her. Something about them seems like he isn't getting any sleep. Like he's afraid if he fall asleep he won't wake up again. Naruto, are you sleeping okay? Loosing his grip around her waist, pulled away and looked back at the gravestone. He felt angry at himself for letting any emotion show. Naruto, why aren't you sleeping well? Is it the training your grandfather is putting you through? Tsunade pushing for an answer. Shaking his head, no, I haven't started my training yet. The Hokage gave him 5 months to make you into a shinobi. I think 5 months isn't enough time, but Rikudo said that you'll be ready. And now he hasn't started and it'd been 2 weeks since he vowed it. Tsunade was confused. Naruto shrugged. Well, I would have started training, but he is making me find the will of fire and my inner demon. Turning back to Tsunade, the only thing I found was that Konoha is the Fire Nation and their quote is the will of fire. Inner demon is the hardest part. Well, I think your grandfather means is to find what's asterisk your will of fire. The reason why the shinobis of the Leaf Village says we have the will of fire is because we fight for our village, Tsunade explained. Nodding his head, so it's a reason to fight? Tsunade shrugged. Well, it depends on the person. For example, the Hokages. Each has fought and died fighting for this village. Reason why we carved their faces on that mountain. Turning around pointing at the Hokage mountain. Their will of fire was to protect us with no mean ends. Naruto always wondered why there was faces carved in a mountain. Turning his back to Tsunade, what is your will of fire? Taken back at the question, nobody had never asked her that question before. Taking a minute to come up with the best way to explain, my will of fire is to end this war no matter the cost. I lost someone very close to me and I hate that feeling. I know in my heart I could have prevented it, so now I work hard to make sure it never happens to someone I care and love. Naruto has never heard something so true in his life. He felt every word Tsunade has spoken about her will of fire. Looking at her beautiful pale, tan skin underneath the moonlight, he couldn't stop thinking that he doesn't want to see her hurt in any way of any kind. Outside the village Alright, everyone is in their position, sir. What now? A voice spoken from the shadows. Wait for my signal, the masked man replied. Yes sir, the voice in the shadows replied and went to get ready. Waited for the shinobi to get far into the forest. Alright Konoha, let's see how your shinobis will survive a sneak attack. Inside the village I wonder where Naruto is. He hasn't been home for the past couple of days. Rikudo walked along with Gaara at his side, carrying his staff in his right hand, looking around for the blonde boy. Maybe he is searching his will of fire and inner demon. Just because he can't remember anything but that asterisk member loosen a layer of a seal. Memories will sneak through at any time or day. An idea came in Gaara's mind. Snapping his fingers, what about that ramen stand? That kid loves ramen. Rikudo started laughing at Gaara's sudden burst. Gaara, I'm so lucky I brought you with me. Gaara smiled, if you didn't you would be lost with Naruto. Gaara had a point there. Rikudo made a choice to bring someone that will help with Naruto and Gaara was it. They made the perfect team. Gaara is defense with his sand, Naruto always on the offense and himself is the midfielder. That might be true but I'm not going to test it. Rikudo trailed off. Pausing, he turned around. Gaara noticed Rikudo's sudden pause. Rikudo? Is something wrong? Rikudo picked up his free hand to signal to stay silent. Sending chakra to his ears, he listened carefully to his surroundings. Closing his eyes to get a better sense of what got his attention. Snapping his eyes open, shit, we have visitors. I told the Hokage that the defenses around the Konoha aren't that strong. Does he listen? No. Motioning Gaara to follow, they head to Konoha's entrance. Meanwhile Alright, I'm going to head to the hospital for my night shift. Good night Naruto, and I hope I was of any help. If you need anything all you have to do is just ask. Tsunade finally spoken up. Breaking the awkward silence that stand between them. Smirking his famous foxy grin. Ah yes, it's getting late. Thank you for everything Tsunade, good night. Reaching out his hand. Tsunade looking at his hand, questioningly. Hesitating she reached out and shook it. Smiled up at him and head towards the hospital. Staring at her walking away, Naruto feels more lost with every step. Looking up to the sky he noticed something shiny. Tilting his head to see if he can get a better look at it. His narrow eyes widen with realization. Following the direction of the kunai, landing his eyes on Tsunade. Running towards Tsunade in hoping to push her out of danger. Running as fast as his legs can take him, but he knew that he wasn't going to make it. Tsunade, she heard called from behind her. Turning around to find Naruto running towards her. Lifting her eyebrow in question, yes Naruto? Before she could answer, Naruto tackled her to the ground when an kunai stabbed the ground, exploding on contact. Naruto used his body to block the flames from getting to Tsunade. Waiting for the heat lighten up, he fell to the side. Pain stinging on his back. Tsunade sat up straight and got to her feet fast. Taking out a kunai out to be ready for another, surprise, attack. She heard a groan next to her, looking down to see Naruto burnt. Skin was peeling off, blood was shown to replace his skin. Ignoring the pain he got up on his feet just to be put back down. Naruto, don't move too much. You can make it worse. Feeling chakra being flow over his back. Quickly healing Naruto before someone attack. Feeling a ramble in the ground, she looked down next to her just to be punched by the ground that stroked out of the ground. Flying a few feet into the air just to crash on the ground. Getting on her feet she throws an kunai at the masked shinobi. Running towards him she jumped to the sky over his head, lifting her fist and forcing it down to hit the target. The masked shinobi jumped out of the way before Tsunade's fist made contact. Making her punch full force into the ground, making a few feet around the contact grumble. Looking at the masked shinobi with hatred in her eyes. Seeing him form hand seals, she braced herself for an attack. Watching the mystery shinobi slam his hands down on the ground. Narrowing her eyes, backflip to dodge jagged points. Forming hand seals, blue chakra formed around her hand. Move her head to the side to dodge a punch to her face. Grab his arm, flipping him to the ground. Placing her foot on his chest. Who are you? And what are your intentions? Letting a groan escape his lips, Naruto painfully lifted himself off the ground. His back was burning and stinging from that explosion. Turning his head towards the fight ahead of him, watching Tsunade be kicked into the air. Hitting the ground, she lifted her legs in the air and bring them down to lift herself from the ground. Throwing multiple kunai towards the mystery masked shinobi, who easily blocked them using the kunai in his hand, throwing his own. Tsunade catched it in mid-air before it hit her and throwing to her side. Running forward with a blue glow surrounding her hands, jumping to the air, lifting her fist back, punched down on the masked shinobi square in the face. Hearing cracking noise from the shadows, Tsunade somersaulted to dodge and surprise of shurikens that came flying towards her. Hee. Wow. Who knew that the great medical nin, Tsunade wouldn't be easy to be taken down. A figure came out of the shadows, wearing a hood over his head. Hiding his face from nearby eyes, motioning one of his men to check out the fallen masked shinobi. Watched a member of his crew place their finger on the shinobi's neck. The member looked back at the chief and shaked his head. Nodding his head, looked back at Tsunade. Doesn't matter now. I won't take you lightly like he did. Tsunade leaning on her right hip, her fist tightening at her side. Who are you? And what are your intentions? Watching the leader, she expected the way he was speaking. Tsunade, we are in war. What do you think my intentions are? And who I am isn't really your concern because you'll be dead pretty soon. Getting into a fighting stance, she snarled at the confidence. You think I'm going to let you get away of attacking my village and trying to kill me? You have another thing coming. Motioning his men to attack, they run around him towards Tsunade. They can't underestimate her, being who she was. They can't afford to fail this mission. The people that hired him would have his head if he came empty-handed. This were going perfect before an older man with a strange staff and his partner that can control sand with moving a muscle. __ somewhere else in the village __. Kicking a shinobi in the stomach, sending him flying to a building. Sighing in anger, Gaara, we need to speed up this progress. Naruto doesn't remember how to fight so he can be injured. Gaara nodding his head in agreement, swept his arm, the sand clapped and mystery shinobi to the ground. Wonder why are they attacking the Leaf Village, in surprise? Gaara asked. I understand in war you want the upper hand, but isn't this a little too much? They don't seem to be really fighting back. It's like they are a distraction. You don't think this is a trap, do you? Rikudo didn't know what to think anymore, but Gaara had a point. These masked shinobi weren't even trying to fight back unless they have a clear shot. If he knew his history well, then the second shinobi war is when Tsunade became famous medical nin. Jiraiya teaches the orphans in the Rain Village and the Akatsuki came from that. Then realization hit him. Tsunade, he whispered, only Gaara was able to hear him. Tsunade? Why her? Gaara's sand blocked another explosion kunai. Surprised at the sudden outburst, Rikudo waited for the sand that surrounded them to fall. Lifting his strange-looking staff, balancing it above his finger, over his head. Smirking, 2 words. Medical. Ninja. Spinning the staff with his chakra, yelled out, Tilda the Almighty push Tilda. The unwelcome masked shinobis were pushed off their feet, slammed into the building behind them. Knocking themselves out from the great blast chakra. Well, that's taken care of. Let's find Tsunade. Rikudo and Gaara jumped to the roofs. Back at the graveyard __. Tsunade blocked another punch and lifted her knee to kick the Rouge shinobi in the gut, sending him to clench his stomach onto his knees. Breathing heavily, she saw from the corner of her eye, Naruto trying to get up. Clenching her jaw in anger at the sight of the blood that was soaking his orange shirt. She needs to hurry up and take care of these rogues. Kunais came flying towards her, stepping out of way of each kunai that thrown her way. Back flipping into the air, dodging, yet another jagged earth that stick out of the ground. Tsunade, you are outnumbered. Just give up and I'll make your death less painful. Tsunade sneered and slammed her fists into the ground, releasing the amazing strength that she holds, crushing the ground, causing gigantic craters. The destroyed earth blocked another explosion. Once the black smoke cleared, the rogue shinobis that circle around her, had their eyes wide open in mere shock and fear. Gulping at the sight of her strength they have heard about, Tsunade quickly jumped over their heads, hiding in the smoke, lifted her leg over her head, slammed with chakra at the point of her, a rogue into the ground, kicking him with full force into the ground, causing the ground to break into an earthquake. Looking around the destruction of the graveyard, seeing 10 rogue shinobis down and 10 to go. Taking a deep breath, she ran forward with blue glowing hands. Shit, the chief whispered to himself. Not even his best rogue ninjas were able to take care of Tsunade. He has to think of something and fast. Watching Tsunade stab her elbow into another rogue ninja in the face at the same back kicking into another one behind, sending both in the ground. Amazed at her strength, Naruto watched with interest in his eyes. Eyes widen, he saw the hooded ninja's hand form some kind of seals. Slamming his hand to the ground and said something, but wasn't able to hear it. Waiting for something to happen, but nothing came. Thinking it wasn't a threat, looked back at Tsunade, who happened to be tangled. Tsunade didn't see this happening. Vines tangle around her body, holding her in the air. Struggling to get free, set of fireballs blowing her way. Closing her eyes, waiting for the attack. Feeling like time has stopped, wondering when the fire jutsu was going to hit her but never came. Opening her eyes, seeing orange, she looked up. Naruto jumped in front of the fireballs and quickly caught Tsunade into his arms. Bring her out of danger. His eyes stared into the man who was responsible with hate. Naruto? Tsunade was surprised and shocked. Wasn't he just having hard time getting up because the injury on his back? Being carefully put down, he walked in front of her. To get to her, you have to get through me first. Shaking her head, forgetting to speak, Tsunade watched Naruto run up towards the hooded man, throwing a punch just to be dodged and intercepted a knee to his gut. Naruto gripped his jaw, holding in the pain, ignoring the pain that was stalked through his stomach. Trying to punch him again but to fail once again. Gripping his stomach was kicked onto his back, sending rip of pain throughout his body. Naruto, don't do this to yourself, forget about me. Get up and run, Tsunade yelled. Fighting to get free, felt like she was being drained of her strength. You should listen to your girlfriend. Walking up to the teen, kicked him over. Bent down, grabbed the blonde kid's orange shirt, lifting him up. You should get up and run. Here, let me give you a hand. Giving him a shove, Naruto couldn't keep up, falling down to the ground. Groaning in pain, Naruto tried to get up but made the pain worse. Looking over at the mystery man walking over to Tsunade, with a kunai in his hand. Walking over to Tsunade, with a sweet smile on his face. He couldn't help think that she didn't put up much of a fight. Seeing her trying to struggle free, that's useless. That seal on those vines are preventing you from escaping. Tightening to every move and draining every bit of your chakra. Not even a kunai can cut through them. They have my chakra threads running through them. Don't worry, I'll release the connection the moment I stab you. Lifting his free hand up, creating a fist, went to punch Tsunade. Eyes shocked, the blonde kid stand between them, blocking the punch with his forehead. Blood dripping down his face, Naruto stand his ground. If you want to hurt Tsunade, you have to go through me. Grabbing the man's fist off his face, twisting his arm, kicked him off his feet. Turning his attention to Tsunade, how'd I get the vines off? Shaking her head, you don't. Listen to me, Naruto, he is out of your league. You don't stand a chance against him. I need you to get out of here and find help. You understand? Go get help. Staring into her eyes, he saw the worry she had for him. Shaking his head, no, I won't leave you with this guy. Ignoring Tsunade's protest, he turned in time to catch the kunai with his hand. Stabbing his kunai, in hopes to kill the boy but was stopped midway. The blonde boy, with a serious look, stopped the kunai with his hand. Trying to break loose but his grip on the kunai becomes tighter. Holding a grip on the hand that holds the kunai, pulled the man forward and slammed his knee to his gut. Hearing a groan escape the man's lips, grabbing chuck of hair, lifting the man to his eye level. You have to kill me first, punched him square in the face. Felt his nose being broken, got up. Why protect this woman? If you let me kill her, war will be over. I don't believe killing Tsunade is your answer in ending the war. Laughing, she's the reason there is a war. That made Naruto think twice. Looking back at the blonde angel that saved him from the darkness. Shaking his head, looking back at the man, no, there is no way Tsunade is a reason of the war. We are still in war because of her skills. If she didn't study medical ninjutsu, the war would be over by now. Becoming confused, you're blaming her for her healing hurt comrades? How selfish can you get? You don't understand what war is about. To save an entire village, you have to kill some people. It's all in the sacrifice for the greater good. I understand war a lot more than you think. There is always another way, another solution than starting a war. My village was destroyed because a man wanted power. It's either you killed the source of that power or fight to save it. Killing Tsunade won't end the war but create a bigger one. Naruto could feel his temper slipping from his control. Memories and emotion he didn't want to go through at the moment. Just step aside and let me kill her. No, Naruto sneered, bending down to snatch a kunai that was on the floor. Spinning the ring on his finger, ran forward. Taking out a kunai of his own, blocked the sharp object. Why protect this woman? It seems that you barely know her. Looking back at Tsunade, looking straight into her brown caramel eyes. Did he saw every reason he need to know to keep her alive? Looking back at the hooded man, she saved my life. My life now belongs to her. She is my will of fire and I'll die for her to stay alive. Breaking the connection of the kunai, Naruto threw a punch just to be blocked. You think you can take me down? Then you are more of an idiot than I thought. Lifting his knee to Naruto's stomach, making him groan over. Throwing him to the side, took another step towards Tsunade. Before he could take a step closer was tackled to the floor. Sitting on top on the older man, trapping him underneath him. Now I have you trapped, I need you to answer some questions for me. Why are you only trying to kill Tsunade when there is tons of medical ninjas in this village? Grunting, please, you think you have me trapped. Stabbed the kunai in his hand to the ground. Lifting an eyebrow, he looked at the kunai. Jumping off of the hooded rouge, blocking his face from the explosion. Flying from the pressure of the explosion, Naruto dropped on his back. Quickly getting on his feet, squirting his eyes trying to see the rogue shinobi. Kicked from the back, Naruto fell face forward. If you are done with acting the hero, I'm going to finish the job that I came here for. Walking slowly to the blonde woman, smirked when he sensed the blonde boy move from behind him. Turning around to block yet another punch to the face. You don't know any ninjutsu and your taijutsu needs work. How do you expect to kill me? It's not the number of jutsu you know that makes you a strong ninja. It's the guts to never give up. It's going to take a lot more to keep me from protecting Tsunade. I'll keep fighting until the last drop of blood and breath. Back flipped to get some distance between him and the rogue ninja. Taking a deep breath, went forward throwing a punch to be blocked. Using his free hand throw another punch just to block. Cussing under his breath, felt a grip on his wrist, pulling him forward to a headbutt. Groaned to the headache that ringed in his head. Shaking the blurry vision, he didn't see the fist connect to his face. The force slightly lifting him off the ground was kicked into a jagged ground. Stabbing through his back, feeling the sharp points piercing farther into his body. Messing around with you was fun but I really need to finish my mission. Moving his hands together to form hand seals, whispering something underneath his breath. Stomping on the ground, a boulder lifted off of the ground. Sorry kid but this is life but before I kill you I want to know your name. Every time Naruto tried to move just for the point dogged further into his back. Blood spilling out, his vision becoming blurry, his breathing becoming heavier but the second. Glaring at the man, Naruto Uzumaki, his voice full of venom. Uzumaki? The rogue's smirk was wiped off his face. He couldn't beat his ears. He was sure he heard the destruction of the very village that the Uzumaki clan lived in. That's impossible. The village was burned to the ground, no survivors. Well then I shouldn't be alive but here I am. Tightening and untightening his jaw, anger flowed through him. Stomping on the ground, lifting the boulder, slammed it on Naruto's defenseless body. Crushing the blonde teen to death. Watching the arms and legs that stick out become lifeless. Rest in peace. Now where was I before that interruption? Turning around to face Tsunade. Tsunade watched in shock at Naruto's guts to keep fighting. Knowing he wouldn't stand a chance, kept on fighting. Smiling to herself at the kind words Naruto spoken. The bravery and courage Naruto showed woken something inside her. Any last words? Opening her eyes to glare at the man that stand over her. She knew she could have taken this shinobi down if it wasn't the chakra thread that flown through the vines. Sucking every bit of chakra. No matter how she looked at it. She was doomed. Simple as that. Damn this war. Damn it, the ground. Well, if you don't, then I shall make it quick and as painless as possible. Drip, drop, drip, drop. Cracking his eyes open, pain shot through him. Groaning in pain, he lifted his head. Looking around in the darkness, he couldn't find anything. Slowly getting up. Where the hell am I? Looking around, he found pipes running everywhere, hanging from the ceiling. Red like steaming, traveling through the air. Cracks running across the walls. Ankle-deep water flooded the floor. Eyes landing at the bar cage that would hold a giant. Humans would call it a boiler room or maybe a basement of some kind. I call it my prison. Looking around to find the source of the demonic voice, just to find himself alone. Who are looking for, Naruto? The demonic voice wondered. Following the sound of the voice to the bar cage. Taking a step closer to get a better look. Don't you speak? A red chakra bubbles came out of the other side of the bars. Forming a fox head, smirking down at him. It's been a long time, kid. Naruto just stared at the chakra-formed fox with surprise. Opening his mouth just to close it, not sure what to say. Kyuubi, seeing this, started to laugh. What's wrong? Did a fox get your tongue? Did you came here to ask chakra like old times? I'm sorry, who are you? Kyuubi's face became serious. The chakra-formed fox popped, being absorbed back behind the bars. Red slits eyes opened from within the cage's darkness. How do you not know who I am? Shaking his head, I never seen you in my life. And I wouldn't be asking if I did. White teeth smiled through the shadows. Well then, I'm Kyuubi no Yoko. I'm your inner demon. Naruto just stared when Kyuubi's body was shown through the darkness. A giant orange fox with a human-like body and 9 tails. Inner demon. Not really understanding what the creature means. Yes, I'm the 9-tailed demon fox, Biju. I was sealed in you when you were just born, making you a Jinchuriki. You are the what humans call, the power of a human sacrifice. You have the ultimate chakra that most shinobi wish had. What do you think caused your village's downfall? Don't answer that. I promised that I would let him handle the details when you are ready. Kyuubi, laying down, getting comfy. Yawning, rested his head on his paws. Naruto was trying to let everything sink in, but trying to make sense of things just hurt his head more. Never taking eyes off of the orange fox. I don't understand why I'm here. Not understand? Boy, you came here for help. Sadly, you came here a little bit too late, Kyuubi snorted, not opening his eyes. Naruto stared up at the orange fox, confused. Came here for help? How'd I get from being outside to inside a boiler room, as you called it? Naruto had no time for this crap. He need to get back to Tsunade. That's because you are in your subconscious. Meaning you are inside your brain in way, but really in a seal that's hidden on your stomach, explained Kyuubi. That didn't make any sense to Naruto, not one bit. Shaking his head, I'll ask the old man to explain when I see him. Can you just tell me how to get out here? Kyuubi started to laughing, chuckling at Naruto's request. I'm sorry, but you won't be able to go back. Why not? You are dead, Kyuubi said bluntly. Naruto froze, staring at the fox in shock. You are lying, Naruto snapped. Kyuubi lifted his eyebrow. Boy, I don't lie about something like that. Sure, I'm a fox. Who is cunning, but Naruto, what would I gain in telling you a lie? To make me suffer. Naruto tightened and untightened his fist at his side. His temper reaching to its boiling point. Make you suffer? Oh, Tsunade, you mean? It's not my fault that you fought someone who you were no match to. Kyuubi yawned again. It doesn't matter now. She is about to be killed and you can't do anything about it. Closing his eyes once again, attempt to sleep. Naruto just glared at the fox with death. No way is he going to stand here and let Tsunade be kicked when she is helpless. Sure, he just asking for a death wish, but at least that gave Tsunade time to figure something out. Or at least he had hoped. Looking down to the leaked water on the floor underneath him, thinking. If he died, why does it feel like he was still alive? If you are the great 9-tailed fox, Kyuubi, with this ultimate chakra that people would kill to have. Then why I am dead? Doesn't it mean you're dead too? That made Kyuubi's head snap up. Narrowing his eyes down at the blonde boy. What are you trying to say, Naruto? Just because I have powerful chakra doesn't mean I can raise the dead. What if I can heal you before the last breath escapes your body? Why would I do that? That's a waste of my chakra. Naruto taking a step forward, getting closer to the prison that hold the Kyuubi behind bars. Because you know that I'm destined for great things. Kyuubi chuckled at Naruto's reticence. Are you serious? Naruto glared back. Just send me back. I'll prove you wrong. Bring you back would be pointless and a waste of time, Kyuubi pointed out of his opinion. It wouldn't be pointless, Naruto agreed back. Yes it would. Just because I'm sealed inside of you doesn't mean I'm stupid or blind. After fighting to pump chakra into your body to make sure you can stay alive, you just give up. After you were given a second chance you treated it like it's a curse, Kyuubi snapped. You listen to me, Naruto sneered, pointing at Kyuubi. I'm tired fighting. I'm tired of these voices in my head demanding me to do things I don't want to do. I might not remember a lot of stuff but I know I did something bad. Naruto survived when almost entire village was destroyed and he's taking it like it's all his fault. Not wanting to do anything to do with war but here he was standing in front of Kyuubi, begging to let him save Tsunade. If he could just do this he will fight back. Kyuubi carefully watched Naruto, seeing it change within the blonde boy he was prisoned in. Tightening his jaw at the pain Naruto was shouldering. You want to make a difference? Naruto nodded his, yes. I found my inner demon and my will of fire. I know now that I can make a difference and if I can just fight this rogue shinobi and protect Tsunade. It's all I need to keep on fighting. On one condition. Name it. I want access to your senses. It gets lonely here, it would be nice if I know what's going on in the world. Kyuubi looked at the seal that keeps him prisoned. Naruto looked up at the seal knowing it kept Kyuubi locked up. Taking a look back at the orange fox, he knew Kyuubi wasn't tricking him for release, just a tiny bit of freedom. At least he will have Kyuubi's eyes to watch his back. Felt like old times' sakes. Naruto nodded to the agreement, found himself in front of the seal. Perfectly leveled with the piece of paper that proves that you shouldn't judge something by its size. It holds a demon from destroying the village. Looking down to find he was lifted by water, circling around his feet. Taking a deep breath, he wasn't sure what he should do but he went with his gut feeling. Lifting his hands on a corner of the piece of paper. Ripping the corner off, he gripped his stomach in pain. Lifting his shirt up to find the seal the Kyuubi had talked about earlier show up. Now my end of the agreement, Kyuubi's voice come from a distance. Tsunade brace herself for the pain that would lead her to death. About to close her eyes, she hears a groan. Eyes landing on Naruto to find something she never seen before. The rogue ninja saw the shock look Tsunade made. Looking behind to find 4 red chakra tails come of Naruto's body. Eyes widen at how the chakra just lifted off the boulder and carefully helped lift Naruto on his feet. Slightly leaning weakly, Naruto glared up at the rogue ninja. 2 of the 4-tailed chakra disappear within his body. The other 2 helped him find his balance before they were absorbed back into his skin. Hissing at the new feel of the red burning chakra spread through his body. I'm going to heal what I can that would be unnoticeable. I promise Rikudo that I would stay low, Kyuubi's voice echoed through his head. Hissing in pain, his hand reached for his head. Sorry, you'll get used to it. Now let's kill this bastard in the ass so you can get healed. Watching the rogue ninja, got in the ready fighting position. To your left there is a kunai at a distance. Reach out your hand towards it but you want your chakra to get it, Kyuubi spoke in Naruto's head. So like chakra threads? Naruto whispered to himself. Yes. The rogue ninja narrowed his eyes. I was sure I killed you. Doesn't matter, I'll make sure you stay this time. Running forward, bring forward a kunai to cut Naruto. Naruto did reach to his left and went forward, meeting him halfway. Blocking his kunai with a kunai. Naruto did what Kyuubi had told him. Not going to argue as long it helps him defeat this bastard. Alright, now for the next move, but make sure you do everything I tell you to do. Once this is over I'll help train you, but right now you are bleeding out too much so we need to end this fast. Pushing forward, the rogue ninja lost balance at the surprise force. Naruto roundhouse kicked the rogue ninja in the gut, sending him flying. Taking easy breaths to keep the pain under control. Taking a step to the side, Kyuubi demanded. Naruto did as he was told to see kunais fly right past him. Reaching out behind them, chakra caught them, bring them back to Naruto. Concentrate chakra on the kunais and send them flying towards the shinobi. Putting his hand over the ring part, sending chakra on the kunais. Making the chakra sharpen the kunais, throwing them towards the rogue ninja. Running behind them, Naruto watched the ninja block each one. Using the chakra threads to get a kunai from a distance and clash it with the ninja's kunai attack, blocking. Bring up his free hand to hold his wrist in place, not letting the rogue ninja to make the next move. Alright Naruto, you are doing great, but time to end this. Use your free hand to form a tiger sign. Concentrate in making a clone of yourself. I'll provide the chakra to make it. Doing what Kyuubi told him, closing his eyes to imagine another of himself. Shadow clone . Another Naruto puffed next to him. Bring his left hand in front of his clone. The clone started to circle his hands above Naruto's hand. A chakra spear shape started to form in his palm. When the clone was done, disactive itself. Naruto released the kunai's pressure, making the rogue ninja forward from misbalance. Slamming the chakra ball into the rogue's body, Rasengan . Sending the rogue ninja back, a sphere chakra surround him. Trying to get up, the rogue ninja groaned in pain, looking down to his stomach to find a gushing hole from that jutsu. Hearing Naruto walk up to him, staring at him with no emotions. Here to finish the job? Well, at least I died from a great opponent. The rogue ninja coughed out blood, smirking how a chakra ball was able to destroy his lungs. About to stab the rogue ninja in the heart. To finish the job, the rogue speaks something that make Naruto freeze. Before you kill me, you must know something. You are a monster, a demon that was created to be used to kill without a second thought. Once you're a cold-hearted killer, will always be one. I've seen those red chakra before. A long time ago when I was young, but if I remember what happened in your village, it was you who destroyed the village. That's enough. Rikudo helped Tsunade from the vines and helped her up. Watching Naruto turn his head to him and take a step back, dropping the kunai before he was able to do anything. Feeling Tsunade snap out of his grip, she ran towards Naruto. Watching her slowly put Naruto down on the floor, ripping his shirt off, she starts to heal Naruto with the rest of her chakra. Watching each stab points disappear from Naruto's skin. I don't have enough chakra to heal him completely, but I did heal the ones that look threatening for now. He lost too much blood already, Tsunade spoken out loud. Tsunade looked in Naruto's eyes to find shock still linger in them. Cupping his face, Naruto, don't listen to him. He doesn't know you and he is lying. He is trying to prove that you are as low as him. But you are not. Helping Naruto up, she bringed his arm around her shoulder as she wrapped her arm around his waist. Taking easy steps forward, towards the hospital. Looking back at Gaara, who was staring at the rogue ninja. What should we do with him? If it was up to me I would kill him, but it isn't, so we'll bring him to the Hokage and let him handle it. Gaara nodded and swift his hand, moving the sand to hold the rogue's arms at his side. We should tell him the truth. Naruto isn't going to ignore something like that. We want him on your side, not against us. Rikudo nodded his head, agreeing that it was probably best to explain some things to Naruto. He was just afraid that Naruto would take it bad. Click, the door slowly opened. Rikudo's head popped in the room, smirking at the blonde teen that was sitting up looking down at his hand. Walking in motioned Gaara in. They watched Naruto, who was deep in thought. Coughing, catching Naruto's attention. You're finally being released. We are here to bring you home. Naruto nodded his head and looked back at his hands. These hands almost killed once again. The words the rogue shinobi told him repeated in his head, over and over again, drilling it in his brain. You are a monster. A demon that was created to be used to kill without a second thought. Once you're a cold-hearted killer, will always be one. You're the one that destroyed your village. He was right, he knew it was true. That's why Rikudo and Gaara was hiding from him. He destroyed his entire village. They were and probably still scared that he might do something. Naruto, you want to leave? Rikudo spoken up again, watching Naruto space out once again, closing his eyes in frustration. What that stupid rogue ninja said the other night was drilling in the blonde boy's mind. Taking a seat at the foot of the bed, Naruto, listen to me. Don't listen to what that man said. He doesn't know what happened to our village and he just wanted to bring you down to his level, which you aren't. Rikudo looked over to Gaara, who was standing at the corner of the room. His arms crossed over his chest. Also in deep thoughts. Turning his head back to Naruto, licked his lips. Trying to think the best way to snap Naruto back. Deciding that the best way will be to tell him the truth. Naruto, Rikudo yelled, snapping Naruto out of his thoughts. Listen Naruto. I think I should tell you the truth. Once you understand, we can work on your memories. This way when you remember you understand and doesn't confuse you. Waiting for Naruto to nod to agree to listen. Rikudo began to tell the story of what happened. Naruto, Rikudo referred Gaara and himself, have been telling you lies about everything. Well, not everything, some is true. Watching Naruto for any reaction, Naruto, you are a recordation of me. I brought you back to life and restarted life to give you a second chance to a better life. You are not born yet in this timeline, so I had to recreate history so you can be here. Future? Naruto cut of Rikudo's explanation. Nodding his head, yes, from the future. I won't go into too much now. You'll be getting your memories back sooner or later and I'll explain it then. Rikudo reassured him that he'll find out what he is missing. Continuing the story, in the future you sacrifice yourself to stop a masked man named Madara. A pathetic excuse for a man that wanted to take over the world with his Red Moon Eye plan. Using the 10-tailed demon, Jubi, to cast his Sharingan on the moon. Looking over at Gaara for some help. Gaara nodded his head, continued telling the story. What he didn't know, even if he was the fist ninja to become the true ultimate immoral ninja with both the Sharingan and Rinnegan. He can't control Jubi with the true blood of mine. Yes, he was a Uchiha, making him a many great-grandson in a way, but what not everyone can be a sage of the six paths. Not everyone can control its true full extent of its power without consequences. Nagato's body became weaker the more he used it. Hint why his body was very ill. Carefully listening to every word that he said. Didn't want to miss a word, never knowing that he might need to help explain about some things. So when he tried to use it, it backfired. When you and him fought, you sealed his eyes. Both the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. Itachi, Sasuke's older brother, gave you a gift before he was killed. This gift was the bloodline of the... Motioning Gaara to seal the room. Not wanting unwanted listeners, Gaara moved his hand in front of him, moving the sand out of the gourd that he carries on his back. Motioning the sand to cover the room completely. Now in the dark inside the sand prison, Rikudo lifted his unique staff a few centimeters off the floor just to tap it on the floor. Lighting the sand prison so they can see each other. Gaara nodded his head in completing the order. Looking back to Naruto, who had a confused look. It's so no one enters and over-listen to this. He gave you the bloodline of the Uchiha clan. Meaning that if you have a child, that child will naturally have the Kekkei Genkei, Sharingan. And how you are a recordation of me, you can easily use the Rinnegan. When you sealed his eyes that he stole, it affected you when he brought you back to life with a forbidden jutsu that you'll find out sooner than you think. When he couldn't continue his plan, he realized only you can do it. It all clicked in when only you were able to save the ninja world. Rikudo watched Naruto try to let everything sink in. Licking his lips, the reason to that is you are the next sage of the six paths. I didn't really give my kids the Rinnegan. I gave it to someone who would look at the world with a smile and never hatred. And that drew out to be you. Smirking at how he just opened Naruto's eyes to the truth of his past life. There is more to what happened, but I feel this enough for now. I really want you to figure out the rest out on your own. Rikudo placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto walked to the living room, where Rikudo was polishing his staff and Gaara was meditating. Standing there to wait for their attention. Can't wait for any longer, coughed. Both the males looked at Naruto with a question look. I want to start training. I found my wool of fire and my inner demon. I'm ready to begin the training to control myself. Rikudo just stared at the blonde boy like he was an alien. Clearing his head, huh? Naruto crossed his arms over his chest. I said it nice and clear. I want to start training. I know you saw me fought that rogue ninja. Rikudo rubbed his chin, deciding what he should do. Sighing, alright, but you have to tell me what is your wool of fire and inner demon first. From there I'll tell you if you are ready. Tsunade. Narrowing his eyes in question, Tsunade? She is my will of fire. I'll die before harm gets to her. His face became blank at the answer Naruto gave him. Looking over to Gaara, who was also surprised at the answer. Watching a smirk show up on his face, he lifted an eyebrow. Gaara couldn't help smile at what Naruto said. Getting up, walking up to Naruto to pull him a hug. Now this is Naruto Uzumaki that I remember. Rikudo watched the scene unfold. Shocked that Gaara can smile, but was surprised that Naruto was become himself but slowly. Arlight, so what's your inner demon? Kyuubi. Eyes widen, Rikudo was surprised that Naruto said it so bluntly. How you found out? Kyuubi and I are a team now. Made a deal with the demon when he gave me chakra and helped me fight that rogue ninja when he killed me, Naruto shrugged. Nodding his head liking the answer, alright. I'll train you but you have to do everything I tell you to do and more. I will work with you, showing you what to do but you have to advance on your own. Naruto nodding his head, alright, sounds fair. There is 5 levels to my training. Each level will be tougher than the last. Level 1, Basic Training. How you don't remember much, just instinct. Without knowledge of the basics you can't continue. Once I see you accomplished level 1 we will go to next level. Rikudo lifted 2 fingers. Level 2, Knowledge Training. Using what you learned in basic training you'll advance it. Level 3, Blind Training. This level will teach you to strengthen your 5 senses. Also on this level you'll use the Rinnegan and Sharingan, 3 fingers lifted up. Lifting another figure to show 4, Level 4, Defense and Offense Training. Teach how and when to attack. And lastly Level 5, Way Training. This will help with strengthening everything you have learned so far. Showing 5 fingers at Naruto, these 5 levels will teach you something new. Once you are done and pass each level, one will test you. Pass that test, you'll find yourself relearning everything again. Looking at Naruto with all seriousness, are you ready to listen to me and Gaara? Naruto took a few seconds to think about he was getting himself into, but he remembered he was doing to for Tsunade and he'll have Kyuubi's back for every step. Nodding his head, yeah. Bring it on. Standing in the middle of Ground 7, training field. Naruto was wearing his new outfit. A black jacket hanging to his knees with a hood that obstructs his face from viewers. Open to show of an orange muscle shirt with an high collar that hide his chin. Wearing black shinobi sweatpants and the Konoha forehead protector tied on his forehead. Lifting his bangs off his face. I see you got a new outfit. I thought I should try something new. Rikudo nodded his head, good choice, but orange? And what's wrong with orange? Rikudo lifting his hands in defense, nothing. Nothing is wrong with orange, just you always wear that color. Naruto was going to argue back but just to be shut off by Gaara's chuckle. Naruto just wants to be a target. That's not true. You're just jealous that I found something that works for me, Naruto argued back. Rikudo couldn't help but smile at how Naruto is kinda opening himself. Alright, let's get started. We only have a few months to make you a shinobi. Naruto nodded his head, becoming serious on the matter. Okay, ready when you are. Rikudo stabbed his staff into the ground and crossed his arms. First I'm going to teach is taijutsu. You are unbalanced, even with the help of Kyuubi. Your footing is off. Naruto nodded in understanding. Then I'll teach you how to use a kunai correctly. If you didn't coded the kunai with your chakra, I'm afraid you could have hit Tsunade when you throw it. Between that I'll teach you chakra control. Controlling your chakra will be a big help on the farther levels. It's important that you work hard to try to have perfect chakra control. Rikudo continued to babble of what's going to happen. Naruto carefully listened to Rikudo's plan of what he'll be doing. Feeling a little nervous, Naruto, don't worry. I'll try to make things a little bit easier. Nodding to himself, cut off Rikudo. Can we just start and explain while we are going along? Rikudo did saw Naruto's point, so he nodded and motioned Naruto to get closer. Alright, first basic moves. Then later we are going to climb a tree. Breathing heavily, leaning over his knee trying to catch his breath. Naruto has been running over the entire village with weights on his back. Every morning he gets up early from a late night of training to exercise. He needs to strengthen his body to get stronger. Getting his breathing back to normal, straighten out his back, walk towards the apartment. Eyes feeling heavy from the lack of sleep from the past 2 weeks, tripped over his own feet. Feeling hands helping him up, turns his head around to find a tall man with shoulder-length, spiky white hair tied back into a ponytail, with 2 shorter bangs that framed both sides of his face. He also had red lines that ran down from his eyes and wore the Konoha forehead protector around his forehead. Wearing the typical shinobi uniform, but he had a metal armor covering his chest. Hey kid, how's the training going? Alright I guess. Doesn't look like it, Jiraiya chuckled. Who asked you anyways? Naruto snapped back, lifting his hands in defense. Whoa. Didn't mean to push your buttons. The story that Tsunade told me about you makes me want to be on your good side, not bad side. Heard from your grandfather that you were training. I've been watching you and got to say it seemed like you haven't slept. Ignoring the statement, Naruto turned from the whitehead and started to walk to his first destination. Hey wait, he heard from behind him. stopping and turned back to the taller man. What? The name is Jiraiya. I'm Tsunade's teammate and friend, stretching out his hand. Naruto just stared at the hand stretched out in front of him. After a minute decided to shake it, reached forward and shook it. Naruto. Jiraiya just smiled. I can picture us as great friends. Kid, stick with me and you'll get to places. Naruto rolled his eyes and continued to walk as Jiraiya followed. After a few minutes of silence, so Naruto, I heard you've been taking a lot of D ranks these past 2 weeks. Aren't you supposed to be training? Well yes, but I thought why not help out around the village and I can use the pay for equipment. Before the sun rise I get up and exercise. Push-up, sit-ups and running laps. Then during the day take any D ranks I can take and at night train at what I was taught so far, Naruto explained. Nodding his head and liking the plan. So what have you learned so far? I've learned some basic taijutsu moves and climbing a tree. It's for chakra control. What about after you done your D rank mission and we train together? Jiraiya asked. He wants to see what the blonde kid was made of. After surviving the condition he found him in and kicked ass with a rank wanted shinobi. He had to be something, even after losing his memories. Fine, but after my missions. Today I have signed for 3 around the village. Naruto walking inside his apartment leaving Jiraiya alone outside. Smiling to himself, something told him he is going to really like this kid. He can already feel it. After 5 hours of working on all 3 missions that made him go around the village. Helping out what needed to be done, walked towards back to his apartment. Finding Jiraiya waiting at the door, leaning with a smirk on his face. Naruto walked closer. Hey? I've been waiting for you, kid. Let's get started on that training. Before Naruto was able to argue about letting him wash up, Jiraiya has him dragging on the ground. Jiraiya, I'm capable of walking. I'm giving you rest by dragging you to the training ground. I'm looking after you so you can't call me heartless. Getting to the training village, Jiraiya let Naruto walk after many threats from the blonde boy. Stop calling me a kid. I'm 18, Naruto snapped out loud. I'm 23 making me 5 years older than you. So I can call you, kid, all I want and you can't do anything about it. Yes I can by defeating you in a duel. Liking the idea, alright that's a deal. Once you are done with your training, completely. You and I will battle with everything we got. If you win I'll stop calling you kid and look at you as equal, but until then I'll keep calling you kid. Walking towards a tree. Alright, run up this tree. Concreting chakra to his feet that he'd been doing before for the past 2 weeks. Started to running up the tree, landing on the highest branch, upside down. Looking down at the white-head man, smirking at his accomplishment. Clapping his hands, that's good now to jump from tree to tree. It makes traveling faster instead of running everywhere. Taking a big leap into the air. Landing on a branch near Naruto's. Smirking down to the blonde teen. He took off to the next branch leaving a surprised teen with eyes and mouth wide open. Swinging off to catch the next branch and swing again till he land on his feet. Taking a deep breath he jumped forward. Praying he makes it, lands on the next branch. Smiling to himself, continued jumping to branch. Looking around Jiraiya to be nowhere to be found, forcing more chakra to hit feet and speeding up to find the white head. Jiraiya smiled when Naruto finally found him near the lake. Naruto jumped down walking up him. I didn't know you can travel through the trees like that? Yeah, this way you can cut time and it's the best place to battle. You can use the trees as a defense and offense strategy, Jiraiya shrugged. Taking a step onto the lake's water, Jiraiya walks on top of the water. Keeping his eyes on Naruto's expression he could help but smile. You can also walk on water? It's another way of controlling your chakra, Jiraiya explained. Naruto nodded and concentrate chakra to his feet once again and look a step onto the lake just to fall through. Popping his head out of the water, Jiraiya was kneeling down, laughing. Ha 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 ha, oh that's a good laugh. If it's not funny enough that all of this is new to you and acting like a puppy, but this beats that. Glaring at the slightly older man, Naruto let his chakra flow through his body. His hands having a good hold on the water like it was solid and lifted himself out of the water. Smiling at how that felt natural to him and took a step forward. Wanting to test himself he started to run but putting too much force on his feet. He fell right back in. Popping his head out, gasping for air. Water isn't like a tree. It's a liquid not a solid, so to walk on water you have make yourself light like a feather but at the same time be hard. Jiraiya stretch out a hand to help the blonde kid. In the water you have to keep your chakra flowing. Not wanting your chakra to weigh you down anywhere, as long your chakra keeps circling everywhere at the same time. Once you figure that out and after you keep trying that over and over again, climbing trees and walking on water will come natural to you. Don't have to concentrate as much because self-consciously you'll do what you got to do. Running his tongue across his teeth, taking a mental note to train over water. Closing his eyes, picturing his chakra flow, circling through his body. Taking easy breaths, feeling his body feel lighter. Reopening his eyes, took off. Sprinting down the lake and stopping quickly and jet the opposite direction. Carefully, not overthinking on concentrate of his chakra flow. Just empty your mind. Just let things flow with the wind, Kyuubi's voice echoed in his head. Nodding, he clears his mind from the darkness that tries to consume him. Letting go his troubles for now, just let his body travel on water. Looking down to see his reflection, to find a shadow blocking his view. Narrowing his eyes to try to make out what it was. Eyes widen, forcing chakra to his feet, jumping back to dodge Jiraiya flying kick. Letting Naruto get use and test on walk on water. Jiraiya smirked at what he had in store for the blonde kid. Running behind Naruto, leapt over Naruto's head and aimed a kick. Watching Naruto dodge from under him, he crashes into the lake, creating a splash. Getting back on the lake, Jiraiya took kunais and threw them towards Naruto. Naruto not understanding what got in Jiraiya's mind, but before he could ask, kunais came flying at him, back flipping in the air to dodge each kunai that was thrown his way. Getting his footing on the water, Naruto sprint forward, throwing his chakra threads to pick up nearby kunais. Letting chakra cloak the kunais, thrown them with force. Jiraiya barely had time to block each kunai with the speed they came flying at him. Not taking the kid lightly, got in the fight stance. Making the fight move, Jiraiya and Naruto battled in taijutsu. Jiraiya turns on his heels to do a reverse roundhouse kick. Naruto kneels down to dodge the kick. Kicking out his leg to foot sweep Jiraiya's leg, causing the man fall on his back into the water. Being complete off guard at the action, Jiraiya didn't have time to keep himself on top of the water. Popping his head up, gripping on the water, got up and tackled down. Naruto kept his chakra control to land on top instead of sinking. Bring up his knee between him and Jiraiya, kicked him off of him. Getting up and got in the fighting stance once more, watched Jiraiya get up. Smirking at Naruto's level, taking out a kunai from his pouch, ran forward. Bring back his hand and bring it forward to be clash with an kunai. Naruto quickly used his chakra threads and went forward to meet Jiraiya halfway, blocking the kunai. Keeping a tight hold on his kunai to keep Jiraiya's from escaping. Staring down each other, formed a smile on each other's face. Laughing, they stand up straight, putting the kunais away. Not bad for someone who just learning how to fight, Jiraiya commented. Well, I did know how to fight before. Just I forgot and now it's all coming back to me slowly, Naruto shrugged. Sensing his grandfather, turned his head to find Rikudo standing on the edge of lake. Waving at him to come over, Naruto walks over. Placing his hand over his shoulder, good job, now to teach you how to throw a kunai without chakra. Walking away, Naruto turned around to wave Jiraiya a goodbye, followed the older man. Why are we at a bar? Naruto, Gaara and Rikudo entered the bar. People yelling at each other or more like slurring. Men and women, shinobi and hard-working workers were all over the place. Talking to each other, discussing about their troubles in life and their hate towards the world. As long there is love there is hate. But to destroy hate you got to fill it up with love, Rikudo said out loud. Looking at Rikudo confused, wondering where that statement came from. Rikudo just kept walking deeper inside the bar. What he said is true. That's how you were able to defeat me. Showing me the light out of the darkness. Took time but it was worth it in the end. Not going to let that happen again, especially after what happened once the darkness was able to control you, Kyuubi spoke. Wishing he could remember his past life so things didn't have to be confusing, but being in a bar wasn't making sense more. Why are we in a bar? I thought you were going to teach me to throw a kunai. Darts, Rikudo said simply. Lifting his eyebrow, darts? Nodding his head, yep. Darts will teach you how to aim on a small target. If you can hit bullseye from different distance, your kunai throwing will be perfect. A reaching over on the table picked up a dart, holding it like a pencil. Moving his wrist back and forth with his arm at the same time, warming up took aim. Releasing the dart, Naruto watched it hit bullseye, right in the middle of the board. Rikudo did this 2 more times, hitting the bullseye each time. Waking up the board, pulling the darts free and hand them over to Naruto. Now's it's your turn. Good luck, I'm heading to bed, got a mission in the morning. Gaara, who hasn't said a word since they got to the bar, spoken up, rest easily. Rikudo nodded his promise and walked out. Turning his attention to Naruto, so are you ready? Naruto did what Rikudo did. Hold the dart like a pencil and moved his wrist and arm at the same time and released just so it to drop to the floor. Clenching his jaw, wishing he could remember but brushed it off thinking it was foolish. Trying again, just to fall on the floor. That went on and on almost most of night. Naruto would run the memory how Rikudo did it and try to copy it. After 4 hours of throwing darts and only to have just hitting the board around the edge was the closest he ever gotten to the bullseye. Slamming his on-board to pull the darts off of it, startling Gaara in the progress. Are you not done for the night? It's nearly 4 AM and you haven't slept yet. Naruto just stared at the board and try again, not tired, damn. Naruto was becoming impatient. Why not? Why don't you sleep? Naruto shot back. Missing once again, Naruto brought his hands to his face, trying to unstress himself. I don't sleep. I can't. Gaara's eyes fell to the floor. Naruto lifted his face from his hands and stared at Gaara. The darkness? Gaara shakes his head, not anymore. You got me out of darkness 3 years ago when you fought to save my life. Getting control of my actions, but I'm so used to not sleeping and my body has gone through many years without it because what I was. So I don't sleep or never will. Sure, I close my eyes but I'm meditating. Naruto didn't know what to say after that. Knowing that it's best to wait until he got his memories back to make do with what he doesn't understand. So the darkness is keeping you awake? Gaara asked, breaking the silence. Naruto just nodded and run a hand through his blonde hair. The voices that linger through his head and heart. Making pain with the stress as they speak. Not really understanding on what they are saying but it's bring his body down. He is more tired than he ever felt. Seems like thugs aren't what they seem, like they are illusions, memories. Trying to ignoring them makes them mad like they are alive. How bad is it? Naruto didn't have an answer to that. He'd been fighting the pain in his head by staying awake. Because it seems that they only act when he is sleeping. Afraid to even close his eyes because they might not open again. Kyuubi warned him that it's his past and it's trying to break free. It's been almost 2 months since he came to village and it's been almost over a month since he last slept. Rubbing the sleep out of his eyes went to get the darts and try again. Never. And he means never have he seen Naruto so scared. Naruto for once seems like he doesn't believe he can continue to fight the darkness. Gaara hated to see his best friend in so much pain. Not wanting to push on the matter continued to watch Naruto try over and over again to hit bullseye. Getting comfy, he had a bad feeling that this might be a long night. Debating if he should order something to keep him from getting even mode bored. Deciding against it, Gaara crossed his arms over his chest and closed his eyes to meditate. Smirking when he heard Naruto curse under his breath. Oh yeah, a very long night.
That's all for now. If you want to see next part, then please like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.